Welcome, Pewter Report readers, viewers, and listeners to a brand new edition of the Pewter Report After Show, Pewter Report post-game show, presented by Celsius, the official energy drink of PewterReport.com. I'm mixing my words all over the place because I am pumped up that your Tampa Bay Buccaneers defeated the New Orleans Saints by a score of 26-9 to improve their record to 3-1 and to be in first place in the NFC South. We're going to break down all of the game this evening. I'm your host, Matt Matera. Joined with me is the face that runs the place at PewterReport.com, SR Scott Reynolds. And Scott, this was a great win for the Bucs, potentially their best game of the season. And while we don't like early buys, it comes at a pretty good time considering all the injuries that the Bucs have.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, this was quite the win, right? All of us picked the Bucs to beat the Saints, except for Josh Capo. We'll want to get that out of the way, But Matt, you and I, we were of the same mind that we just thought the Bucs were the better team, and they showed it. I didn't think it'd be as lopsided as it was, but boy, give Todd Bowles' defense a ton of credit. They really made up for that Monday night performance and really atoned themselves quite well, holding the Saints to 197 yards of total offense. That's that's hard to do. Hold an NFL offense. And granted, the Saints, they've got a discombobulation up front with their offensive line. Derek Carr's shoulder did not look like it was anywhere near 100% today. And Jameis Winston comes in and throws an interception.
He comes in for one play and immediately throws an interception. I was kind of having flashbacks. You mentioned the injury to Derek Carr and clearly did not look 100%. I was having flashbacks to the Bucs retiring Drew Brees. And if you remember in that game, Brees couldn't throw the ball further than 15 yards. So the Bucs stacked the box. They played up and forced Drew Brees to try to go deep. And obviously that didn't work. And it didn't work for the Saints today, especially when they went down in that game and they had to play catch up. That's when the Bucs really feasted on the Saints. And I think anytime that you don't allow a touchdown in the game, odds are you are going to win. And that's exactly what Tampa Bay's defense did today. They have a goal of 17 points or less per game, and they went through the roof on that goal in this game.
Jameis Winston constantly throwing passes to the Bucs since 2015.
That's true.
That's great. I will have to say, too, I don't like to crow a whole bunch. I'm a pretty humble guy, a little bit. But I had the most ridiculous prediction in my 2-point conversion last week, because I've come up with 2 predictions. I have this formula, like 2 big statements, 2 probing questions, 2 bold predictions. Sometimes the predictions get to be a little challenging, and I'm not always right. Like if you go back and look at my predictions, I'm probably wrong a lot of the times. But I actually called a D. Delaney interception. I said prediction number 2: D. Delaney will get another pick in the New Orleans game. So back-to-back interceptions now. Your Tampa Bay interception leaders are the rookie nickelback, Christian Izzian, and the backup defensive back who can play corner, you can play safety, D. Delaney. So incredible. D. Delaney has 2 interceptions, and of course the one today came at Jameis Winston's hands.
And that was another key to this game, winning the turnover battle. The Bucs are 3-0 when they win that turnover battle. Now, granted, the second one they got, it was a strip sack by Vita. It was on 4th down, so the Bucs were going to get the ball anyway in that spot. But nonetheless, it goes down as a strip sack for Tampa Bay, which was super important. And I think what was big for the Bucs, especially early on in the game, they didn't necessarily have a fast start, once again, which still needs to kind of be ironed out for Tampa Bay. But they never panicked. They didn't panic when they went down 3-0. They didn't panic when they had to punt after getting the ball back after going down in the game. They just kept going. Dave Canales kept being stubborn with running the football. And sure, there were their ugly moments when they still can't really run the ball inside on the interior. But nonetheless, the run game was vastly improved. And the clutch gene was on display for the Bucs because when they needed something big, a couple of big third down plays, bam, Baker was either running for the first down or he was hitting Chris Godwin, who had a standout game for Tampa Bay.
Yes, as Charlie Abrams said, yo, we have a freaking kicker, guys. That 51-yarder would have been good from 70. Yeah.
Another clutch moment. That's 2 games
Big
so
time.
far in out of 4 games, and 2 out of their 3 wins. Chase McLaughlin hit a 50-plus yard field goal. That was a crucial moment in the game. It gave them the 2017 lead over the Vikings, and it made it a 2-possession game in the 4th quarter or late in the game against New Orleans. That's exactly what Jason Light wanted when they let go of Ryan Suckup and wanted to bring in a new kicker. And Chase McLaughlin, I'm calling him Money McLaughlin. He is Money McLaughlin because he's hitting these big picks, these big kicks, which is helping my picks as well, including Bucs plus 3.5. So shout out Hezo813 for the $5 super chat, who says, shout out to Matt again. His Bucs picks are still fire.
Yeah,
they are.
It's Matty Diamonds, folks.
Matty Diamonds, but I sincerely apologize to everybody. I am no longer undefeated. I am 7-1 picking Bucs games. I took the over in this game, and that did not hit. So I'm no longer undefeated, but 7-1. I'm not exactly going to be crying about that. But thank you for the super chat, Ezo8.
I won a ton of money on my bookie today. I went 30 large on the Bucs.
Yeah,
and I ended up winning like about $50. So I'm really excited about that because I took the money line twice. And then I said, screw it. I'm going to listen to Matty Diamonds. I'm going to go Bucs plus 3.5. Boom.
Hell yeah.
Won some more money. So it was a nice rebound from yesterday. So that was good. Speaking of rebound, Antoine Winfield Jr. did not have the best game. He kind of got hurdled last week, but oh man, did he make up for that? Holy smokes. He had a big time forced fumble down there by the Saints.
Yeah. I mean, you want to talk about momentum.
2-yard line? Yeah.
You want to talk about momentum. I mean, last week, the Bucs turned the ball over, and then Baker Mayfield turned it over, or maybe Rachaad White fumble, whatever that sequence was. This week, the Bucs turn it over in, honestly, not boneheaded. I mean, Baker Mayfield made the right read. He just underthrew it, and that's why he was intercepted. You can't turn the ball over in that situation when you have guaranteed points on the board.
Right,
but
exactly.
Johnny on the spot. And again, parallels to Monday's game. D. Delaney makes the interception down at the 1.
Right.
The Eagles get a safety. This time, the Bucs get bailed out on that type of play. They force the fumble deep in their own zone, and the Bucs are able to put points on the board. But Antoine Winfield Jr. did everything for the defense today. Other players played well, too. It wasn't just Antoine Winfield Jr. But the forced fumble, the fumble recovery,
sack right there, the huge play in the end zone to break up the Chris Olave touchdown. It was huge.
Yeah, that may have been the biggest out of the forced fumble was the biggest one. But that PBU cannot be underlooked on that pass breakup in the end zone. I almost thought he was paying homage to Rondé Barber because it hit his name on the back of the jersey. So I thought he was, paying homage to Rondé, pointing to the back there. But
Eric Gross with a good comment. A Bucs win and a Jameis INT. What a way to end the week. Yeah. Well, it's really technically the beginning of the week. It's Sunday. So what a great start to the Bucs bye week, though, right? I mean, 3-1. The Bucs are back atop the NFC South where they belong. They're the 2-time defending champions. So, I mean, this was as quality of a win as you could get for the Buccaneers. I think they checked the boxes, right? They won the turnover battle. They got the Derek Carr. Not as much as I expected them to. I thought this would be like a 4+ sack game. They missed a couple sacks, that was probably the disappointing thing. Godwin went off. We talked about that in the pregame show. He needed to kind of have a big game. Some of this was because Mike wasn't out there, but the 42-yard catch and run was old vintage Chris Godwin before that ACL. 8 catches, 114 yards for him. And then the 2 youngsters, the 2 young guns, wide receiver, right? When Mike Evans goes out, Chris does the damage in terms of getting him into touchdown position down there inside the red zone and really within the 5-yard line. And then Deven Thompkins comes up with his first career touchdown. He also had a 26-yard catch and run. That was a huge first down as well. And then Trey Palmer, man, just doing Trey Palmer things in the end zone once again, making it look easy, even though that was a very highly contested catch. I don't know how Isaac Yiadom could have been in any better position. I mean, look at that. It's like he's got his hand right there in the face of Trey Palmer. And Trey Palmer, the LSU native, just is going to grab onto that ball.
Trey Palmer tweeted out, woke up feeling pissed off or something like that. He tweeted that out before the game. So immediately I was like, oh, might want to throw a prop bet touchdown on Trey Palmer. But that legit looked like, I mean, they threw that fade pass to Trey Palmer just like they would to Mike Evans if that was Mike in that situation. Yes. And Trey Palmer did his best Mike Evans impersonation by coming down with it in the end zone. I mean, you want to talk about team wins or just a group stepping up when their best player is out. Mike Evans stopped playing in that game, on that last drive of the second quarter. So they didn't have him at all in the second half. And yes, Chris Godwin did the bulk of the work, but everyone had a play in the Bucs winning today. Cade Otton, his only catch of the game, but it was a crucial moment with that touchdown. Trey Palmer with the touchdown. Deven Thompkins, as you mentioned, all those big plays, the end around as well. Once again, an end around first down for Deven Thompkins. Not everyone had to be, a guy that had 8 receptions for 145 yards. They just needed to make their play when it was their moment. And Deven Thompkins, if we've been saying since training camp, he catches everything. Yeah. I mean, he looked like Superman through the air, diving to make that catch in the end zone. It was truly a fantastic play by him.
Yeah, we got a couple super chats to get here. LDBC's most wanted $1.99 super chat. Thank you. Shout out the O-line. Gadecki played so well. LFG. Yes, he did. We'll get to a couple of key stats from the Saints in a second, but definitely want to recognize that super chat, as well as one from Meets McGee, $5. Thanks so much. Like I said last week, we will be okay. This offense has not clicked yet, but when they do, look out. We still need to figure out this Hainsey issue. Yeah, I agree. Hainsey, I don't know if there's a fix there this year, but he just simply has to play better. DT and Palmer getting some love here in the chat as well from some of the guys. Yeah, they stepped up big time for sure. So here's one interesting thing, Matt. It's like we talked about this last week during the Pewter Report pregame show, actually today, but then also our preview earlier in the week about how the Saints, they lost a lot of guys up front, a lot of their top pass rushers in free agency. And there really is one guy left standing, and that's of course, Cameron Jordan, who has some disparaging things to say about the Bucs, calling this not a rivalry. Well, maybe he's right. Maybe this isn't a rivalry anymore because Todd Bowles has absolutely owned the Saints. Todd Bowles is 3-0, including 2 wins in New Orleans right now. So maybe this is not a rivalry. Maybe he's right. Maybe this shouldn't be considered a rivalry till the Saints decide that they can beat the Buccaneers. And right now it's 3-0. Tampa Bay is leading. And if you're counting, the 2021 season, okay, fine. The Saints swept the Bucs. It didn't matter. The Bucs still won the NFC South. So there's that. I'll say this. So part of the Saints' problem going forward as a franchise is, Matt, they elected to let some players go, and they decided to keep some old veterans. Yeah. When I mean old veterans, I mean old veterans, right? So here's some of the statistics that they put out there today. So you've got old man Cam Jordan, 4 tackles, didn't have a sack. You've got Tyrann Mathieu, 5 tackles, didn't really make any plays. Demario Davis, who is their playmaking inside linebacker, and one of my favorite players just to watch, seems like he's lost a step. 5 tackles today, no sacks, no pass breakups, nothing like that. So, the Saints decided to keep their oldest playmakers and not pay some of their new guys. And I understand because you're talking about some leadership there, right? Mathieu in the secondary, Demario Davis at the middle, at the linebacker level, Cam Jordan up front. The problem is going forward, those 3 guys are going to age themselves out of this roster. And then who do the Saints have on defense left? Marshawn Lattimore? What did he do today? Not much.
Hey, he made a couple tackles. But they were tackles 20 yards down the field. And I think that's huge moving forward because the Bucs are showing they have their veterans too. But Zion McCollum is a perfect example of a player that is young and is developing at a great pace. And Tristan Wirfs is still young. Antoine Winfield Jr. is still young. So the Bucs are managing it the best with still having a team that can compete while also kind of preparing for the future. And I'll get to the super
Yeah.
chat in a second. It is just laughable, Scott, looking at the money that the Saints gave to Derek Carr and the years they committed to him, and the money that the Bucs gave to Baker Mayfield. And this is the performance that you got from, let's just say it, the top 2 quarterbacks in the NFC South, because everyone saw what Desmond Ridder did today for the Falcons, and Bryce Young, rookie, first overall pick, has a long, long way to go.
He does.
And so it's looking pretty good from a quarterback situation.
Matt, to your point, I got a post-game text here. I don't think he minds me sharing it. I'm going to do it anyways. From Mike Greenberg, Bucs capologist and assistant general manager, and he says $75 million in dead cap and still 3-1. So I think that pretty much speaks volumes right there. To your point, I mean, the Saints made these business decisions to get Derek Carr, and what has he produced so far? 2 wins, but I don't think they're trending in the right way for sure. We have a super chat here.
Andre, I'm going to try to pronounce this right. Apollinario. I apologize if that's not correct, but Andre, thank you for the $10 super chat.
I don't know if it's $10. It's got an R in front of it, so it might be foreign. But
thanks for the super chat.
We'll take it.
Yeah. And Andre says, Cam Jordan was right. There's no rivalry. Go Bucs. And then parentheses, congrats to Matt and SR for the brilliant coverage.
Thank you.
Once again, thank you very much for the kind words. You know what? It's a little funny, Scott, because Baker Mayfield's post-game press conference, you got asked about like first game and the rivalry, all that good stuff. And he's like, this is a great rivalry, regardless of if people choose to believe it's one or not. And it was like a little, I would say it's not a shot by any means, but just poking a little bit at Cam Jordan for saying that it's not a rivalry.
I do know for a fact that the Buccaneers did see that comment, and that was used this week. It just in the meetings, here's your buddy Cam Jordan. This is what he's saying. So the Buccaneers did see that comment for sure. G Vegas, problem with the Saints was signing Carr to that huge contract. He was bad with Devontae Adams. What do you expect with him from Chris Olave? They got him for next year as well. That's right. Yeah. And, the Buccaneers, they had a chance to be in the Derek Carr sweepstakes, Matt. And I think you and I both agreed that too much money, not enough wins. The yards are there. He's probably okay from a fantasy football perspective. Hasn't won anything to this day. The only quarterback in the NFC South, including Andy Dalton in Carolina, including Derek Carr in New Orleans, of course, Desmond Ridder in Atlanta, but Baker Mayfield's the only quarterback with the postseason win residing in the NFC South. So appreciate the $2 super chat from Christian Hurst. And we have another super chat here from Meets McGee. Hit the thumbs up. PR is the best Bucs coverage. Yeah, we appreciate that. And we're over 12,100, screaming towards 12,200. Thanks to you, Pewter people. This would be a great time to remind everybody, if you have not subscribed yet to Pewter Report TV, it's the home of the Pewter Report podcast, home of the Pewter Game Day show. It's home to the Pewter Pulse and Matty Diamond's Pewter Picks and Props each week. So make sure we have a lot of great content plus interviews, locker room stuff, press conference clips.
Yeah.
So make sure that you're subscribing to Pewter Report TV and also on our videos, even this podcast. Hit the thumbs up, give us a like, and also a comment.
Too. Say the Saints stink. Doesn't matter really what the comment is. Just throw a comment our way. That does go a very long way with helping our numbers and help building this YouTube channel. So would really appreciate that. One last comment before we get to Big Zeke's comment. My Pewter Picks and Props, my props all hit with the exception of Mike Evans scoring a touchdown. Yeah. And that's because Mike got injured. So again, don't hate how my picks went today. But thank you to Big Zeke for the $1.99 super chat, who asks, Antoine Winfield Jr., Defensive Player of the Year conversation yet? I think it's a great question.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's been making so many different plays for this team, but when you look at a defensive back in terms of Defensive Player of the Year, I think he's got to get those interception numbers up. That's been like, I'm not faulting him for not getting interceptions because everyone else has done it. Christian Izzian, D. Delaney, Shaq Barrett, things of all that nature. But if we're talking about winning Defensive Player of the Year, I feel like it tends to go towards the pass rusher these days.
I agree.
And so it's a tough hill to climb.
Sacks or interceptions. You got to have one or the other, right? I mean, that's how it is.
Yeah, so it's a tough hill to climb in that sense. But, I mean, I think he's a lock to make the Pro Bowl this season and arguably the best safety in the league. I mean, he's got to
Yeah.
be in that conversation without
He's
question.
off to a tremendous start. Kudos to Todd Bowles, not just for beating the Saints 3 times in a row, but for knowing how to use the personnel, for starting Chris Isian in the slot where he is at home and putting Antoine Winfield back at safety where he's home. So great use of personnel by head coach there, Todd Bowles. Matthew with the $5 super chat. Great job, guys. And Ritter looks terrible. If not better soon, we will be facing Heineke once again. Smith will not go down with the Ritter ship. Yeah, I mean, this is a big make or break year for Arthur Smith, I think, in Atlanta. He's got his personnel. He wants to run the ball. He's got his running back. Bijan went for 100 yards today, but Bijan didn't score a touchdown. And the quarterback, Desmond Ritter, gave it a touchdown to the Jacksonville Jaguars on a pick six. So you can't do that. So yeah, right now Buccaneers atop the NFC South with a 3-1 record. Both the Falcons and the Saints are at 2-2. So after a good promising start from Atlanta, they've lost 2 straight, and we'll see what happens after that. Matt, you're getting some props here. Matty Diamonds made 50 large off my man Matt. There we go. We'd like to hear that.
Les, I love seeing that. I mean, I make these picks, and of course I want to be right, but I want you guys to make the picks with me or choose some of my props that you like. You don't have to pick all 5 or how many I pick. Yeah. Just pick the ones that you like the most. So that that warms my heart. That makes me so happy to see you guys.
I made a couple picks for Matt today. I won money too.
That warms my heart even more. Absolutely love it. Put the house on the Jets to lose by more than 9.5 tonight or 8.5, whatever I had it at. But anyway,
and I took that one too.
Yeah. TYT says, I thought Zion McCollum played really well too.
Yeah.
My favorite play by Zion McCollum today was when they tried to throw the screen to Chris Olave, and Zion came like a bullet train and annihilated Chris Olave.
He didn't miss. Matt, he didn't miss. He made the hit. He made it. He hit him.
What are you doing?
What are you doing? Like, making tackles and hits, Zion. What are you doing?
Listen, I still think the Bucs are better. Oh my God, the Cowboys just ran a fake field goal. That's incredible. Or a fake extra point. Oh, big man scored. That's amazing. Sorry. I still think the Bucs are better with a fully healthy Carlton Davis, who looked pretty good today, and a fully healthy Jamel Dean. But you want to talk about depth at corner, which going into the season we were saying was thin, looks so much better knowing you have Zion McCollum in the hopper in case anything else happens.
That's right. Yeah. And, we talked to him today, Matt, or the other day, Wednesday. I think it was Wednesday or Thursday. These days just run together for me. But yeah, I mean, he's confident, man. I mean, he feels it, and sometimes for a cornerback, when you don't hear their name a bunch, that's a good thing. Right. And if you look today, Chris Olave, 1 catch, 4 yards.
Nothing.
1 catch, 4 yards. Michael Thomas, 4 catches, 53 yards. He was their leading receiver. And
one of those throws from Taysom Hill on like the first drive of the game, where it's kind of like a crazy play to begin with. So
and Alvin Kamara had 13 catches. 13 for 33 yards. I mean, come on. His longest catch was 10 yards. So you take that one away. Then you have 12 catches for 23 yards. And I mean, just a tremendous job of Todd Bowles taking away anything deep. I have to go back and look at the all 22, but I'm pretty sure they're playing either quarters or cover 2, whatever, forcing everything underneath and rallying and tackling. Right. And boom, they took their business.
And there were some Bucs fans that were a little angry about allowing so many things underneath. The swing passes to Alvin Kamara. And, I was a little annoyed at certain points too. But you can't argue against only allowing 3 field goals. Will it be annoying at times when they allow plays underneath and sometimes it gets them the first down? Yeah, absolutely. You can. I don't care what offense it is in the league, except for Zach Wilson and the New York Jets. 9 points is absolutely fantastic. 9 points. You should be 100-0 if you play 100 games and your defense allows 9 points. And we got a we got a $9.99 super chat from Sunil Dinab. Thank you, Sunil, for the super chat, who says Antoine Winfield Jr. looked amazing. Light better get ready to back up the Brinks trucks for him and Wirfs. Absolutely. And then he says, shout out Matty Diamonds for making me some money today. Thank you, Sunil. There we what I'm saying.
There we go. Yep. Yeah.
Real quick, another thing that I'm
Yeah.
saying is make sure you hit up those bodegas to get some Celsius energy
right.
drinks, the official sponsor of the Pewter Report podcast. You know we love Celsius. I was drinking one on the show today. I'm almost sad that I finished my Celsius. The strawberry lemonade is what I was rocking with. The newest flavor is the Cosmic Vibe. You can't go wrong with all the awesome flavors they have. So if you need to know where to find one, go to the Celsius store locator on their website, punch in your address, and it'll tell you the closest geographical location to pick one up, whether it's a local Walmart, convenience store, health and fitness store, or your bodega.
Bodega.
And once you go to your bodega and you know that you want more, that is when you start getting it in bulk. Get that variety pack. It's Variety Spice of Life. And you heard me talk about all the awesome flavors that they have. Go to Amazon, click on the subscribe and save, and you can have Celsius sent to your place of residence whenever you want. You're in control of it. It could be a week, quarterly, monthly, yearly, whenever you want. Just make sure you're drinking Celsius energy drinks. No sugar, no post jitters with like other products out there. Make Celsius your number one pick.
Yeah, for sure. Good stuff. I had my Celsius this morning.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm trying to think what else. So
here's what I wanted to get to here. Chris for Oxentine. I made some money today. Even the Plant City math tells me that's good. That's right. Hopefully y'all are tuning in to Matt's Pewter Picks and Props, folks. It's here on Pewter Report TV every Friday. So you only have a small window to watch it. So make sure you dial in every Friday to Pewter Report TV and watch that. And then watch it Saturday if you didn't watch it on Friday. And
exactly.
Then
you can even watch it
for Sunday.
You can even watch it Sunday morning. If you can even watch it Sunday morning before the game starts. So you have the whole weekend to watch it. I do want to mention real quick, the Bucs obviously don't have a game this weekend, but I will be making some NFL picks. So if there's other games that you want to bet on, I'll come out with a couple NFL picks for you guys to watch. But Scott, I want to talk a little bit more about this defense as Desert Dog says, bodega. This defense.
Yeah.
I know it's the Saints offense. This defense can play against any team in this league. Like this defense, I'm telling you, is legit. I don't care who they're playing against. They will keep the Bucs in the game. I think a lot of this will have to be on what the offense does on a weekly basis. I'm sure at points that they will struggle, but I mean, man, this group from beginning to end, from the front with Vita being a game wrecker, from Antoine Winfield Jr. in the back, I mean, there's just so much talent on this team everywhere across the board.
Yeah, and Vita Vea, I guess, got credited with 2 sacks. I missed one, apparently. I don't know that he got another one. I guess he did, but I'm looking at the NFL statistics here. And Winfield had 1. Vita Vea had 2. Of course, he had the forced fumble that Logan Hall recovered. I would say the only thing that's missing is just consistency from the outside linebackers, right?
Yes, I would agree with that.
Shaq Barrett got close. He actually had a sack that he negated with his face mask penalty. So I mean, he had one. Had 4 tackles on the day, or 3 tackles. Not a bad day for him. Joe Tryon-Shoyinka, 2 tackles. I thought that he was kind of a bystander today. I thought that he was active, but he was kind of just running around.
Yeah,
and was ineffective against Trevor Penning, and who's not a very good left tackle, and that's really disappointing because I was hoping this would be kind of another bit of a breakout performance for him.
Yeah,
and he applied some pressure. I'm not saying he didn't do anything, but I don't know that he threatened Derek Carr at all in terms of coming close to sacking him. It was a little disappointing sometimes to see the Bucs pass rush lose some lane integrity in the middle, allowed Derek Carr to step up and run and throw the ball down the field a little bit. That's got to get shored up, but I think it will. But
I mean,
I would say that that's the only thing that bothers me is not enough sacks from a front 7 that has the potential to do it. We still have not seen a sack from Devin White this year either.
No, we haven't. And I think, you love what you saw from Vita Vea making the big plays, especially at the end with that fumble, as you mentioned, that Logan Hall recovered. Yeah. But sometimes those are coming as, and we'll have to watch the tape, but a little bit more of coverage sacks where no one's open. So Carr's kind of stuck there and Vita's able to make the play. If you want to talk about the outside linebackers, the OLB that made the most significant play was probably no pun intended, Diaby.
Yeah, Diaby. Yeah, that was a hell of a play, man.
Right, that's like a 9-yard loss on the
Yeah,
play. Maybe a little bit silly of the Saints to, draw that type of play on the first drive.
right.
They were moving the ball fairly well, but Yaya made a really nice play there. I'm not necessarily going to say he's earned some more playing time just yet,
Yeah,
but with not really doing much the last couple of games, I don't think it would hurt to mix it up. And we got a $4.99 super chat from Douglas Guy who just says, just wanted to say, go Bucks. We love
yeah,
that. Say that all day long. You Bucks fans should be thrilled right now. You're 3-1,
yeah.
place in the NFC South. You got a bye week coming up next week, so you're not moving down in the NFC South, and maybe some help is on the way with obviously resting a lot of these injured guys.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Elijah Cansey might have a chance to come back after the bye week. It seems to me, Matt, that once they got past the Eagles game, it was almost like, let's not play him until the bye week, give him a couple more weeks worth of rest. As Mobbin for Christ 30 says, calf injuries can be tricky, so you don't want to make it worse. That's right. And they're 3-1 without Elijah Cansey now. I'm not saying that if he comes back, they're going to lose, but I'm just saying they've won without him. This is, you want him to come back and you want him to be available for the rest of the season. And I think that's the big thing is getting him back so he can play for the long haul and put the calf injury behind him. Dave Canales, man, he caught some plays today. I like how they got down there in the red zone. And even though they were in field goal range, they went for the dagger. They went for the touchdown. They got it.
They did.
And it was that type of aggressive play calling that this team needs. The margin for error is not great with the Buccaneers, at least not right now. They've got to be aggressive and take their chances and not play the type of games they played last year, like the Cleveland game where they kind of sat on a lead. They allowed the Browns to come back. Then they lost it in overtime because they were playing too conservative. I like the aggressiveness by the Bucs offense as much as I did by the Bucs defense today.
Yeah, and you know what? There's still going to be their times where they have a 3-and-out late in the third quarter or the fourth quarter with a chance to really close it out. You just got to stay the course. You have to stay patient with this offense because – there were times that really looked rough, and there were times Baker kind of had to bail the offense out by sprinting to either get in field goal range or get that first down. And you can't be a scoreboard watcher, but 26 points is pretty damn good for this offense. And if this offense scores 26 points per game and really only about 10 of those points was because of the turnovers that the defense had, whether it was the forced fumble by Antoine Winfield Jr. or the strip sack by Vita on fourth down. 10 points was brought to you by the defense, essentially. But the offense closed it out late. Again, long sustaining drives, and that's what won it for them.
Yeah. And I think, too, when you look at the production in the run game, right, we talked about we didn't need to see 125 yards on the ground, but 100 yards would be good against this top 10 Saints rushing defense. And, the Buccaneers had 114 yards. I thought it was a little curious as to why Keyshawn Vaughn got 9 carries. Rachaad White got 15. Rachaad, I think, is just faster. And, you look at Keyshawn, 9 carries for 16 yards. It's a 1.8 yard average. His long was 8. Not that Rachaad White lit the Superdome on fire or anything like that. 15 carries, 56 yards, a 3.7 yard average.
He made guys miss too.
He did.
I think one of his best plays was that it ended up being the interception by Baker on that drive, but the catch that he made on third down, he made 2 defenders miss, and he got that first down that set the Bucs up in first and goal. So he's starting to get a little more comfortable week by week. And again, when you're not going up against the Eagles, this Bucs run game is going to be better.
Yeah, I also like the play call too. It was defended perfectly by the Saints, but my gosh, to have Chris Godwin throw the pass, right? We saw a little trickeration there. Trey Palmer was open. It just all of a sudden that Saints defensive back who had his back turned. That's so hard to defend that play without getting a penalty in that situation. But I want to say it was Isaac Idem. He did a great job of breaking it up with his back and putting his hand up there. But I like the creativity. I like the end around the DT. That chipped in 11 yards for the ground game. Baker Mayfield, Matt, as you mentioned, 8 carries, 31 yards on the ground, including a 10-yard scramble. So the Buccaneers got a lot of production to kind of cobble that running game together, but still 114 yards nonetheless. Tampa Bay's run defense held the Saints to just 70 yards. Kamara had 51 of those.
I would say the third quarter, the Saints were able to run a little bit on the Bucs on a specific drive. But again, the Bucs had built that lead, at least a 2-possession lead. You never want the team to score, but they forced the Saints to move the ball methodically down the field and not
burn a lot of clock.
And it burned a ton of clock. And again, still held them to a field goal to where, it's a 1-possession game, but at worst, they had to score 8 points just to tie it up, and there was no chance of the Saints. Besides the Saints leading 3-0, there was never a situation where if the Saints had the ball, they could have won the game. At most, they could have tied it. And that's even a pretty good feeling to have.
No, I agree with you 100%. When you look, too, at just the contributions, as you mentioned, Cade Otton, right? 1 catch, or actually he had 3 catches, but the others were a little nondescript. But the biggest one was his touchdown, right? And so touchdown for him, touchdown for Trey Palmer, touchdown for Deven Thompkins. Baker Mayfield.
3 tutties for Baker.
Yeah, I mean, he's, I don't know what else has transpired today around the league with tunnel vision on the Bucs, but 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. I'm not saying it's automatic NFC Offensive Player of the Week award, but I think he's in contention, right? And also, too, I like how Todd Bowles, the 2 X factors for the Saints. We know about Kamara, we know about Chris Olave, we know about Michael Thomas. The 2 X factors for the Saints are always going to be Taysom Hill, right? 4 carries, 10 yards, really shut him down in that perspective. And then he had 1 pass attempt. It was a 13-yard completion. And then he had 1 catch for 7 yards. So they did a good job of really just not making Taysom Hill a big-time factor. And then the guy that was really concerning to them was Rashid Shaheed. 3 catches, 33 yards, a very pedestrian outing for him, and did nothing in the return game today. That's huge.
That's what I was going to say is, the Bucs punt coverage, I've been very critical of them, but I got to give them their due. I got to give them applause for them because they did a great job, whether it was the first kickoff was probably the worst of the game for the coverage in terms of that, but kickoff wise and punt coverage, they did a great job bottling up Rashid Shaheed, who we talked about could have been a huge factor in this game. So, they dealt with it head on, and they deserve a ton of credit for getting those stops.
Yeah. We got some Baker fans here, some new ones, right? So, I think that if you had some doubts about Baker, I think he probably won some more Buccaneer fans over today, right? I mean, even begrudgingly, it's like you have to admit this guy has got, 7 touchdowns now and 2 interceptions? That's a pretty good start, right? He came in with 4 touchdowns. He added 3 more today.
Hasn't fumbled, or he fumbled once. He fumbled once against the Eagles, but overall has taken care of the football. Again, only sacked once today. And there were times where he could have got sacked, but he either threw it away. I didn't like the intentional grounding call on him. I thought Baker was outside of the pocket. But Baker is playing smart football. He's playing smart football. Again, his interception, it was the right read. It was just a bad throw. And he had maybe 1 other pass that was interceptable. It happened earlier in the game. He gets it out of the way early with his interceptable pass. He gets it done, and then he's good to go the rest of the game. And again, showed guts and grit.
Yes.
That second half with 2 big passes to Chris Godwin on 3rd downs.
Some of those decisive scrambles too, Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, he's just doing a little bit of everything, and it's never going to be perfect or flashy, and no one's going to mistake him for Patrick Mahomes. But I mean, he's helping the Bucs win, and the Bucs won convincingly today.
They did.
This is the first time where you could take a sigh of relief, and the Bucs had more than a 1-possession game. So
you're exactly right.
That's just to ease the mind and take a little stress off the fans a little bit. It was nice to see.
Exactly. It's almost like when you call Eric Gross, right? He just takes all the stress away from your home buying or selling experience because he's a pro, and you want a pro in your corner when it comes to tackling your real estate goals. And Eric and the Eric Gross Group, they've got the expertise to get it done. Eric is a Tampa native. He's a huge Pewter Report reader and podcast viewer, and he knows that it takes a full team effort to win a football game, and it takes a full team effort to win in real estate. The Eric Gross Group has done hundreds of transactions here in this crazy real estate market, and they've got experience. that you need for all types of situations. Eric and his team have got the market knowledge, the top-notch communication, the commitment to excellence that sets them apart. And with a strong team of vendors and a network of over 85,000 agents across the country, the Eric Gross Group will turn your dream of buying or selling a home into a reality. Their clients are not just transactions, they're lifelong friendships. So don't let the stress of buying or selling a home keep you out of the game. Let the Eric Gross Group take the pressure off. Find them on Facebook and Instagram at Eric Gross Group, or visit them on the web at housesnfla.com. That's housesnfla.com. Check out their inventory on the website. And no matter where you are in the home ownership journey, you're going to feel welcome with the Eric Gross Group, the official realtor of Pewter Report. And for you Pewter people, they're even having a creamsicle jersey giveaway just in time. The winner will be drawn October 14th, 2023. All you have to do is, it's real simple. Go to the Eric Gross Group Facebook page, the business page, and like it, and then leave a comment. It could be Go Tampa Bay. It can be Beat the Saints. It could be Bring on the Lions. It could be Pewter Report, whatever. It's that simple. You go and you like the Facebook page, Eric Gross Group, leave a comment, and Eric and his team will pick a winner, and you can win a creamsicle jersey. You get to pick out the player number, and you get to pick out your size.
No better deal than that. And creamsicle. I mean, I'm so excited that the next game is the creamsicle jersey. I was at a farmer's market on Saturday morning, and someone was selling pillows with different team logos, and saw the creamsicle one. I was like, let's go. Like, I was already pumped up for it. So
yeah,
why not get a free creamsicle jersey if you can? So
that's right.
Out Eric Gross Group. And also, as Rich, shout out to Rich saying thumbs up, like this video, and of course subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Yeah. Best part of the win was Winston throwing us the ball. Yeah, that was great. It was great seeing Jameis. And I don't have any ill will towards Jameis, but it's like when you're dancing on your crutches, right, like he did, and acting a fool. I mean, okay. What is this? 4 interceptions now in the last appearances by Jameis to the Buccaneers. So, that was fitting, I guess. Baker is making a great case for himself. Yeah, I mean, he's in a contract year too. Everybody has got eyes on Mike Evans and Antoine Winfield and Ryan Neal, and there's a whole bunch of free agents, but Baker's a big one, right? And he's going to want to raise from $4 million, which is what he's making this year, to a lot more. And we'll see. How the season plays out. Long way to go.
Exactly.
Almost a bit of a scary situation there for Baker Mayfield. Looked like on that cheap shot that he got bent over, and I was concerned he was dealing with the knee injury, but he came back and played. Yeah,
that play was so confusing because, like, first of all, it looked like no one was open. Then, then all of a sudden, Baker finds Kate Otten, and then what was crazy is, because he got rid of it so quickly, you see Otten score the touchdown, but you don't really see Baker get hit. But I still remember the way the camera angle was. The flag popped up, so immediately I thought, oh, it's going to be holding on the Bucs or something like that. But they blocked it very well in that play. And then in the background, you could see wide receivers coach Brad Isaac. I'm pretty sure it was him. He had his headphones off and was red in the face, screaming at something. And I don't know if he was mad at the receivers for doing something wrong. I don't know if he was mad at just the flag being thrown, or then after seeing the replay, if he was pissed off that Baker got hit and he was saying like they should have, thrown the flag earlier. I don't know specifically what he was angry at, but I saw that. And then you see the flag and you're like, oh no, it's going to be a holding penalty. And then you see the replay and you're like, oh damn, no, Baker got absolutely annihilated on such a cheap shot. So hopefully he stays healthy. Granted, he does have a week off. So,
that's right. And I tell you what, this bye week comes at a good time. You don't want it to be this early. Like, I get that, but you can't help it. You got to roll with it. But the thing is right now, this team is a little banged up, including Baker. Probably he'll be feeling that need tomorrow more so than tonight. But yeah, I think this is a good time for the bye week. Listen, the Lions are no joke, right? They're a legit playoff team for sure this year. They came close last year, missed it by just a game. They finished 9-7, didn't make the postseason. That has fueled them, and they've taken care of business this year. So this is going to be a big challenge. I mean, they looked really good on Thursday night, beating the Packers up there in Lambeau.
Yeah.
And
They love to run the ball.
They love to run the ball. This is that week where you want to get Kalaji Kansi back. You want to get Jamel Dean back.
Vita, rest that back.
Yeah. Yeah. You want to be full strength when the Lions come to town, because this is going to be a big time rock'em sock'em bloodbath. This is be a physical game. It's going to be very interesting to see where the Bucs stack up. We know they can beat unbeaten teams. We know that they can beat NFC South teams. Now, can they beat fellow wild card contending teams, right? Or should I say fellow contending divisional champion teams? Because I think the Lions have just as good a shot as anybody in the NFC North.
We got another super chat from Mike Reynolds, who said, Capo, talking about Josh Capo.
Yeah.
Josh Capo got me onto Underdog. Matty Diamonds
There we go.
keeps getting me wins. Figure I owe you guys. Let's go. First place Bucs. Well, Mike Reynolds, thank you so much for the very nice words. I'm very happy that you won your money. That's the goal of all of this. And we'll continue to do so. 7-1 Bucs picks. As Neil says, talking about Baker, he's been getting away with running around the pocket like a headless chicken too. That won't last forever. So we got a Baker hater among the commenters, but that's all right.
Yeah.
Everyone's entitled to their opinion. There have been 2 or 3 times, at least in this game, from what I remember, that I was like, get rid of it, get rid of it, get rid of it. And then he finally did. I do wonder at times if that will come back to hurt him eventually this season. But you can only go by what they've done so far through 4 games. And 3-1, every single fan of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers would sign up for that record. So you got to be happy with what Baker has done. He's missed some things here and there. He had an overthrow to Godwin early in the game, but he bounced back way better in this game than he had done previously. So I love the grit of Baker right now. It's just, it's gritty. It's gritty, but not pretty, as they had said earlier. That's going to be the case this whole time, and that's fine. That is fine.
Yeah. Well, I think what you're saying, Matt, without saying it, is Baker's really playing with some balls, right?
He is playing with some balls.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Game balls presented by Manscaped. Your balls will thank you. That's right. Okay, folks, it's time for the Manscaped read. Then we're going to get into our game balls. Matt and I, we've agreed to each give away a ball on offense and defense. It only makes sense because he has 2 balls, I have 2 balls, so why not give them both away?
Yeah.
So that's how we're going to do this. But first, the Manscaped read. And if you notice that promo code Pewter20, believe it or not, folks, holiday season is going to be around the corner. We're in October already. So this makes an absolute awesome gift. I cannot recommend Manscaped enough. I'm glad that they gave us free Manscaped stuff here. Even if they didn't, I would pay money for Manscaped products because they're the absolute best. The entire Pewter Report staff uses them and swears by them. So today we're here to talk with the sponsor of Game Balls, Manscaped, for your bouncing bundle of joy. No, we're not talking about a baby. We're talking about your baby makers. That's right. Today's show is brought to you by Manscaped. But just like babies, your delicate little guys have sensitive skin and deserve products that are not only skin safe, but made with safe ingredients. That's where Manscaped's Platinum package comes in. From razors to shower care, this package goes above the gold standard for your body hair. So treat your beautiful boys to the world's finest toys at manscaped.com and use the promo code Pewter20 to save 20% off plus free shipping. The Manscaped Platinum Package 4.0 is the one-stop shop for the man who deserves it, with a whole bunch of stuff included, including the Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer, the Weed Whacker ear and nose hair trimmer, the Ultra Premium Body Wash, the Ultra Premium 2-in-1 shampoo and conditioner, the Ultra Premium deodorant, the Crop Preserver Anti-Chafing Ball Deodorant, the Crop Reviver Ball Spray Toner, Anti-Chafing Boxers, and the Shed Travel Bag to hold your goods while you're traveling. Folks, get 20% off. Highly recommend this package. Get free shipping as well. All you have to do is enter promo code Pewter20 when you do your shopping at manscaped.com. That's 20% off and free shipping at manscaped.com using promo code Pewter20. Use the Platinum package because the gold standard is no longer good enough. All right, Matt. Let's get to some game balls. Let's do offense first. Matt, who are you dishing your game ball to?
Offensively, I got to give it to Chris Godwin. We had talked during the week about how he's not involved enough. This guy's getting paid $20 million. Is he worth that type of contract with the production he's given? Well, when Mike Evans went out in this game, it was Chris Godwin that stood out and stood up for this offense. He led the way. He had the clutch plays on third down, went over 100 receiving yards, and was the main focus of the offense once Mike Evans was done. So a huge game for Chris Godwin, his best of the season.
Yep. I'm giving my game ball to Baker Mayfield, 3 touchdowns. It is a new personal best for Baker in Tampa, throwing 3 touchdowns, something that Tom Brady did an awful lot of. So not saying there's a comparison here because they're 2 completely different quarterbacks, but the Bucs didn't start off 3-1 last year with Brady. They were 2-2. So this year they're ahead of the curve, 3-1 with Baker Mayfield at the helm. And as long as he stays healthy, boy, I like this team's chances of winning the division again and making the playoffs. 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. That's a great ratio. If he can finish this season with a 3-1 touchdown interception ratio, the Bucs will take that, and they'll probably take a playoff berth if Baker continues his touchdown production ways. So that's our game balls on the offensive side. Matt, how about the defensive side of the ball? There's a lot of guys to choose from here, but there's one guy probably at the top.
Yeah, there's a ton of guys to choose from, but this player was the best of anyone on Sunday in this game. And that's, you nailed it. Yeah. It's Antoine Winfield Jr. Everything that he did, making plays in coverage, obviously in the run game, just got a sack as well. The forced fumble was a huge, huge moment in the game. I mean, he's going to be a Pro Bowler. He should be an All-Pro. He's just dominating the game. And it seems like every time he makes splash plays, the Bucs end up winning. Yeah. So he was fantastic. There's no other way to say it. It's Antoine Winfield Jr.
I agree. It's Antoine, but since you gave your other ball to him, I'm going to give my last ball to Vita Vea. Big man coming up with 2 sacks, especially a strip sack to end the game like that. His pass rush just keeps coming and coming now. So what is he up to? 3.5 sacks now on the year?
Something like that. He just
because he came in with 1.5. So 3.5 sacks for Vita Vea so far. He had 6.5 all of last year, which was a new personal best, and led the Buccaneers. So he's already on pace to top that. Can he get to double digits when it comes to sacks? We'll find out, but he's certainly on his way. So I agree with you with Winfield. I'll give one to Vita Vea as well.
Yeah, I think that's definitely fair. I think Zion McCollum deserves a shout out or an honorable mention, whatever you want to call it. D. Delaney. Again, let's remember, D. Delaney came into this game when Ryan Neal went out in the first quarter with a concussion. And hopefully they can get him back in 2 weeks. But D. Delaney
that
got
pick
called
from Jameis
and had the pick, which adds to a little comedy into it all as well. So, yeah, I think D. Delaney deserves some credit. Deven Thompkins as well. Because, it was great. Trey Palmer had the touchdown, but Deven Thompkins, I think, brought a lot more to the offense in general. And I want some more gadget plays to Deven Thompkins. It doesn't always have to be an end around or whatever, but when he has the ball in his hands, he just does stuff. I'm not saying how the Saints force feed Taysom Hill. And I think they partially did that because Derek Carr is dealing with that injury. But just scheme some stuff up for Deven Thompkins, man. I don't think you can go wrong with it.
I don't think you can go wrong with watching Pewter Report TV, right?
No,
that's our YouTube channel. So make sure that you are subscribing to Pewter Report TV. We're on our way to 12,200 Pewter people as subscribers, thanks to you guys. So just awesome. Thank you very much. The Pewter Report phenomenon keeps growing on YouTube, and that's where you can find the Pewter Report podcast. We're going to have a Victory Monday Pewter Report podcast tomorrow at 4 o'clock. We do a roll call at 4:20. Make sure you are here for that. It's the best show of the week when it's not after a Bucs win on Sundays like today's. But Victory Mondays, nothing to slouch about. Make sure that you're also following us on social media, on X, Instagram, Facebook, and Threads at Pewter Report. And, of course, Pewter Report TV. Make sure you're hitting the thumbs up. Give us likes and comments on every video. All that does is just helps push us in front of more awesome Pewter people through the YouTube algorithm, and it just helps our channel grow. So we appreciate all the help you guys have done so far. Keep it up. And make sure you also visit in the mothership, pewterreport.com, for the best Bucs post-game coverage, injury reports, inside scoop, and just awesome stories from Matt, myself, Bailey, Jace, or Josh, Adam, everybody. We've got a big staff, and it's going to continue to grow too.
Yeah, much like the Bucs, it's a team effort. Everyone contributing, which is always big. All right. Great show again. Appreciate everybody that joined me or Adam and I should say,
Yes.
in the Pewter Game Day stream. That was a super fun time. Always better when the Bucs win as well. We'll have that in 2 weeks. Obviously, the Bucs have a bye coming up, but we'll have that in 2 weeks when the Bucs play against the Lions. But a lot of fun stuff on this show as well. Thank you to everybody in the chats, everyone giving us super chats as well. But that is going to do it for us on today's show. For Scott Reynolds, I'm Matt Matera saying thanks everybody for watching. The Bucs are 3-1 and in first place in the NFC South. And we will see you tomorrow for another edition of the Pewter Report podcast. Peace out.
Out. Victory Monday on tap.
Victory.